Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to tell my story, not because I think it's particularly fascinating, but people do ask, like, how did you get into this? What exactly do you do on a daily basis? What do you do for your job? I had to answer this question several times in the last couple of weeks, and I thought, well, it'd be kind of nice if there was a place that people could find out a little bit more. So that's today's topic. So here's the Reader's Digest version. I was born in Florida. I still live in Florida. I'm one of the few people who's born and raised here, still lives here. Grew up the son of a CPA. My dad had his own practice since I was 3 or 4 years old, I guess. Never thought I'd be a CPA. I was more interested in engineering and science and physics and actually youth ministry. When I left to go to college, I actually was going to be a youth ministry major. I studied youth ministry in college, then I studied philosophy in college, and I finally studied business in college. When I graduated from college, the only thing I knew is that one day I wanted to own my own business. I had known that for a long time. I kind of grew up knowing that. And when I graduated, I had this little business that did my junior and senior year odd jobs, and I would do stuff for people like clean gutters and blow leaves, and eventually I had more work than I knew how to handle, so I hired out some friends and I'd pay them a little bit less than what I was making from the client, the customer, and make a profit every time somebody else went to work for me. And that was my first kind of real taste of what it felt like to run a business and have processes and have people working with me, and I really liked it. So when I graduated, I was going to go into finance. My dad talked me into coming and working in his business. Actually, he just made me a really good offer, and I liked the idea of being in the family business. So I worked with him for 4 years, did tons and tons of tax returns, did just about every kind of tax return you can imagine. It was a fantastic time in my career. And I just got lots of experience packed into this incredibly dense 4 years. After 4 years with him, I decided I wanted to do something different. I went and I worked for a serial entrepreneur who started about 4 different companies. We rotated through those, sold some, merged some. The last one was a Pure.com. It was in 1999-2000. We ran out of money, going out for our second round of financing, had to close the company down, got married the week after I quit my job, went on my honeymoon, came back, started looking for a job, got talked into going back into public accounting for a CPA firm that I'd hired to do some work for the .com company. I was there for 4 years. Again, lots of tax experience, but also lots of exposure to small businesses. And I knew that I wanted to focus just on businesses. Left there to go to a much larger accounting firm. Was only there for about 9 months before I decided it just wasn't for me. Went out on my own. In 2005, I started my own tax and accounting practice. We specialized in business clients. I tried to do as little work on taxes as I could because I really wanted to help business owners grow and build plans for the future and evaluate their operation and work on business processes. And eventually I figured out that all the stuff I was doing with these businesses had a name. It was called strategic planning, but I was a little bit different because I also stuck around and helped them execute the plan. I helped them work on the business after we decided what we wanted it to become. After about 7 years of doing that, the consulting side that I really wanted to spend my time on, and the tax side that was a bigger and bigger part of our practice just because we had grown, were running into each other, and I couldn't do both at the same time. I had 3 options. I could go out and find a partner, I could hire a tax manager and train them how to do it, or I could sell it. I'm not the kind of person who likes to answer to a partner. I was too impatient to stick around and train a tax manager, so I sold it to another small CPA firm, and they took that tax and accounting work, and I started to work just with clients who wanted to do consulting, and I didn't take any more tax work. That was in 2012. It's now 2016. Been doing this work for about 4 years full time, where all I do is work with small businesses on building plans to grow their business and execute against those plans. Sometimes it involves succession, sometimes it involves mergers and acquisitions, but for the most part, I'm just working with small mom and pop business owners that are running businesses that are usually between $2 million and $20 million in revenue, and we help them build a plan to grow the business and turn it into the thing they want it to become. It's an incredible amount of fun. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my life, and I am passionate about getting other CPAs involved in it. I think if you're a CPA, you're uniquely gifted to do this kind of stuff. You have talents and abilities that no business coach has, that no life coach has, and you can do it, and your clients want you to do it, but you have to kind of get out of the mold. You have to get out of the historical pigeonhole that a lot of people want to put you in, especially your fellow CPAs. You'll usually get more resistance to doing this kind of work from other CPAs who just want it to be that staid, traditional debits and credits, tax returns, and audit work than you will from your clients, because your clients want you to do this stuff. They would love for you to have a bigger voice in their business, but you just don't know how to get there. So in addition to working with small businesses and building strategic plans, I also work with other CPAs to teach them how to do this work on their own and add it to their practice. That's my story in a nutshell.